Pyramus and Thisbe are a pair of ill-fated lovers whose story forms part of Ovid's Metamorphoses. The story has since been retold by many authors. Plot: in the Ovidian version, Pyramus and Thisbe are two lovers in the city of Babylon who occupy connected houses' walls, forbidden by their parents to be wed, because of their parents' rivalry. Through a crack in one of the walls, they whisper their love for each other. They arrange to meet near Ninus' tomb under a mulberry tree and state their feelings for each other. Thisbe arrives first, but upon seeing a lioness with a mouth bloody from a recent kill, she flees, leaving behind her veil. When Pyramus arrives, he is horrified at the sight of Thisbe's veil, assuming that a wild beast has killed her. Pyramus kills himself, falling on his sword in proper Babylonian fashion, and in turn splashing blood on the white mulberry leaves. Pyramus' blood stains the white mulberry fruits, turning them dark. Thisbe returns, eager to tell Pyramus what had happened to her, but she finds Pyramus' dead body under the shade of the mulberry tree. Thisbe, after a brief period of mourning, stabs herself with the same sword. In the end, the gods listen to Thisbe's lament, and forever change the color of the mulberry fruits into the stain color to honor the forbidden love. Adaptations. The story of Pyramus and Thisbe appears in Giovanni Boccaccio's On Famous Women as biography No. 12 and in his Decameron, in the fifth story On the Seventh Day, where a desperate housewife falls in love with her neighbor, and communicates with him through a crack in the wall, attracting his attention by dropping pieces of stone and straw through the crack. Geoffrey Chaucer was among the first to tell the story in English with his The Legend of Good Women. John Gower also uses the story, with some alteration, as a cautionary tale in his Confessio Amantis, while Amorius in Cleopes is a 15th-century version. Shakespeare In Shakespeare's play A Midsummer Night's Dream, a group of mechanicals enact the story of Pyramus and Thisbe. Their production is crude and, for the most part, badly done until the final monologues of Nick Bottom, as Pyramus and Francis Flute, as Thisbe. The theme of forbidden love is also present in A Midsummer Night's Dream, and that a girl, Hermia, is not able to marry the man she loves, Lysander, because her father Geus despises him and wishes for her to marry Demetrius, and meanwhile Hermia and Lysander are confident that Helena is in love with Demetrius. The Pyramus and Thisbe plot also appears in Romeo and Juliet, in which the titular characters, Romeo Montague and Juliet Capulet, fall in love at a party the Capulet family hosts, but they cannot be together because the two families hold an ancient grudge, and because Juliet has been engaged by her parents to a man named Paris because of the grievance she had of other things. Shakespeare drew this aspect of Romeo and Juliet from his main source, Arthur Brooks' poem The Tragical History of Romeo and Juliet. Other adaptations. Spanish poet Luis de García wrote a Fábula de Pyramus y Thisbe in 1618. French poet the copywriter Fille de Vieux wrote Les Amours tragiques de Pyramus et Thisbe copyright E, a tragedy in 5 acts. In 1718 Giuseppe Antonio Braccianello wrote his only opera La Thisbe for Wittenberg Court. For una section war Franca and for una section war rebel composed Pyramus et Thisbe copyright E, a lyric tragedy in 5 acts and a prologue, with libretto by Jean-Louis Ignace de Lasser. It was played at the Arcade copyright My Royale de Musique, on October 17, 1726. The story was adapted by John Frederick Lampe as a mock opera in 1745, containing a singing war, which was described as the most musical partition that was ever heard. In 1768 in Vienna, Johann Adolph Haas composed a serious opera on the tale, titled Pyramus et Thisbe. Edmond Rostand adapted the tale from Romeo and Juliet, making the fathers of the lovers conspire to bring their children together by pretending to forbid their love, in Les Romanesques, whose musical adaptation, Fantastiques, became the world's longest-running musical. Allusions. Stephen L. Shepard's The Untold Story of Pyramus and Thisbe, 1, is a retelling of this classic in a modern context, alluring the form of a one-act play. There is a chapter entitled Pyramus and Thisbe in Alexandre Dumas' The Count of the Monte Cristo, alluding to the secret romance between Maximilien Morel and Valentine de Villefort. In Geoffrey Chaucer's The Merchant's Tale from the Canterbury Tales, The two illicit lovers Damien and May are likened to Pyramus and Thisbe for their forbidden love. In Edmond Rostand's Cyrano de Bergerac, during his nose monologue, Cyrano mocks his traitorous nose in parody of weeping Pyramus. In Edith Wharton's short story The House of the Dead Hand, the romance between Sibylla and Count Ottaviano is seen as a new Pyramus and Thisbe. In Willa Cather's O Pioneers, two of the story's lovers are killed under a mulberry tree. In Miguel de Cervantes' Don Quixote, when Cardenio relates the story of Lucinda and himself, he refers to that famous Thisbe. In The Simpsons episode The Daughter Also Rises, Grandpa Simpson talks to Lisa about Pyramus and Thisbe. In La Celestina by Fernando de Rojas, Callisto talks briefly about the unfortunate Pyramus and Thisbe. In Gail Carger's Changeless, Ivy Hisselpenny says that she loves Mr. Tunstella's Pyramid Did Thirsty, a comically inaccurate reference. The Beatles made a parody of the story of Pyramus and Thisbe for the 400th anniversary of Shakespeare's birth. It was transmitted on the one-hour TV special Around the Beatles on May 6, 1964. Puerto Rican playwright Luis Rafael Zar Nchez names an elderly married couple in his Sol 13 interior Pyramus and Thisbe, in obvious reference to the doomed couple. In this play, in the part called La Hija Nuestra de Cada Día, the couple is aging and poor when they are separated by death caused from a life of hard knocks. See also, Star-Crossed, Pyramus and Thisbe Club, a UK organisation concerned with party war legislation. Notes, Virginia Brown's translation of Giovanni Boccaccio Euro Unregistered Trademark S. Famous Women, pages 27-30. Harvard University Press 2001. ISBN 0-674-01130-9, http, www.shakespearenavigators.com Brook Index HTML, recorded on Hyperion Records, CDA 66759. References. Primary sources Ovid, Metamorphoses of 55-166. Secondary sources Bulfinch, Thomas, The Age of Fable. Or, Stories of Gods and Heroes, Sanborn, Carter, and Barzine, 1856. External links, Pyramus and Thisbe performed by the Beatles, Carlos Parada, Greek mythology link, Pyramus and Thisbe, PXT, a visual novel adaptation of the story from A Midsummer Night's Dream.